Crier, the most isolated peak in the Azmiri Ranges. At its summit, you will find the Quachik Vault. There is no predicting the state of those within. If their discipline and loyalty endure after all these generations, they will know us by a certain phrase. Tell them, the time of the sparrow has come.
I shall seek out the Quachik and deliver your message.
If they will not listen, I will come to assist you. Remember, subdue them, but do not kill them. They will fight for us one way or another. In my youth, all I wanted was power. I was the smartest, the sharpest. I rose to prominence on sheer force of will. Once I became the right hand of Queen Azmiri, I realized that the system of merit I believed in was an illusion. Knowledge and science were merely ruthless tools for the nobles in their mad quest for eternal dominion. I had no power. I was a slave. From then on, I spent every spare moment secretly pursuing ways to save my people. I placated Azmiri and the nobles by day, but fought a war against death itself by night. The flesh, the soul, machinery, time itself. No possibility was left unexplored. If all else failed, that is what the Quachik Vault was for. Should the entire world be ravaged by the cataclysm, some Vaal would still remain, deep in the most remote mountain. The final and most desperate contingency. I am wary now after hearing about the people living in sunken Utzal in your era. Isolation and containment drove them to horrific ends. There were systems put in place in Quachik to avoid such problems, but the vault was never intended to last this long. If the people in the vault are still healthy and sane after all this time, it will be proof that the Vaal are indeed worthy of my extreme efforts. If they are not, I already suspect what might have gone wrong. The cataclysm came sooner than I'd hoped. The full complement of originally intended inhabitants was not achievable. I had to fill out the ranks with some candidates that I had previously ruled out due to their religious proclivities. Blood rituals and sacrificial rites were not uncommon in the Empire, but I disdained such wastefulness. More than that, religion tends to spread in confined spaces. I can only hope sanity has prevailed within the vault.
Just between us, the existence of this Quachik vault gives me pause. How many other plans does Doriani have in motion? Keep your eyes open. I am struggling to reconcile two men. One is history's greatest monster, maligned across Wraeclast's written and oral traditions. The other is a man we brought back from the past, one who portrays himself as desperately trying to save his people. Are they one and the same? He accepts responsibility for the things he has done, claiming they were necessary. I suppose I have no moral high ground to stand on. Oriath could not have done any of what he did if I had not grown the beast.
Hello, YouTube. Sorry about that. Hey,
Good day to you.
Elder.
I'm Hilda. Been roaming the world for some time now, hunting all manner of beasts. And as soon as I get my arse back to Mount Crier, it's all turned to shite. My tribe has fled the region. Someone was roughing them up. I got one guess who. Lythara, a skilled hunter from a neighboring tribe, has lost her mind. She and her followers drove my people out. Then she turned on her own. I'd sort her out myself, but she packs quite a punch. If you're heading up the mountain, you'll have to deal with her. But there's something else I'd ask of you. There's one beast I've not been able to best. A yeti, deep within the caves of Mount Crier. A truly fearsome bastard. Many claim to have seen him, just not up close. One thing's certain, though. You'll hear him. Oh, an unmistakable howl against the icy winds. Seek him out, slay him, and bring me his tusks. I'll make it worth your while.
I was half expecting it to say, you
Be
know
careful.
nothing, Jon
Tough bugger.
Snow.
Been hunting that Yeti in the proper season these last 5 years. Oh, he's a shifty one. I follow his howl, but I think he knows. I think he's got the sense. I bet he feels the hair on his neck stand up when I'm on his trail. He'll never feel you coming, though. Doesn't know your scent. There's living Vaal in Mount Crier. Well, I'll be damned. The stories are true. It's not some children's tale from the elders, but a yarn we weave on the winter solstice. Many generations ago, a Vaal named Uramoti came to us and wanted to buy a mountain from the Asmeri. You can't buy a mountain, it's nonsense. They simply exist. So we let him pass. Countless Vaal marched up there, trying to capture Mount Crier. Well, they busied themselves, certainly, as eventually they went silent. We assumed they died up there, trying to buy the mountain from the sky. Perhaps they did make a deal, but with Prospero instead. He'd be the type to sell you a mountain. The spirit is a load of codswallop, if you ask me. Have nothing more to say on it. All right then, you nosy blighter. Let me tell it as it is. I'm a hunter, I run the woods, the fields, and I've trapped many beasts. Yet I've never heard a voice or saw a light leading me. It's always just been me. Alone. The spirit stayed silent when my dear brother lay starving. Nor did it light up the night when my ailing mother was lost to the wilderness. Even if it does exist, what use is it? In a world brimming with pain and misery. For nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Trey, hunt like it's your last.
There's another one over there.
Welcome
Might as
to
well
Mount
get him.
Crier. Not the friendliest speaking the Rangers. Keep your footing, keep your wits. You might just leave with both intact. If not, well, these slopes are littered with folk who made the same mistake.
Cheerful.
I am troubled by stories of deception. By voices that are not the spirit. Is there someone out there misleading us? Whispering in our ears? Leading us to our dooms? It sounds like our stories of the snake. But of that, I know little. Hasn't troubled us for generations. An elder would know better than I. Some call him a genius. Others, a monster. The truth is usually somewhere in between. Me. I say power like his comes with a cost. And it's never the one wielding it who pays. Remember that the next time you go thinking you're on the same side.
Yeah, true that.
I know the one. Once a proud hunter, now lost to madness. Put her kin to the spear, 'cause the spirit told her to. So she says. More likely the snake. If you could deal with her, you'd be doing us all a favor. And probably her as well.
The Asmeri Ranges. It's beautiful here. Finally somewhere peaceful. The Asmeri are truly ancient. Let's see what remnants we might uncover.
Yeah, come out with me.
Watch the stars.
I'm sure it won't be terribly peaceful for long. So now that's over with. Hello YouTube. Welcome to the Asmeri Mountains. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Path of Exile 2. My little spin to win monk. As we finish off the base storyline and head for maps, adventure, and fat loot. A monument to something ominous and unknown stands here. A horned snake. Ooh. Doing a little bit more in the way of spinnerizing, but not too much more. Not that much has changed between yesterday's episode and today's. We're getting there, but there's no point in doing too much of it when it's not going to be giving us the payoff that we need. So I'm still using Falling Thunder, and I'm still using the Staff buff and Palm Strike. So. And then situationally, I'm using a Spin to Win. So probably next time when there's a remnant or, you know, surrounded by something pointy. It's hard to get excited about any of these. They don't really sell for much. I guess you get a little bit of XP from the mobs that arrive, but sometimes there's a little bit of extra that will drop from the remnant, but it's not always worth very much. It's a bit of a lottery. Sometimes it can be great, other times it's just meh. So like the
Dear
others,
mountain-born of Crier, another solstice is upon us. We shall be joined at the week's end by the fine hunters of Draelin for a feast most spectacular. Ready the meat and the mead. Bring your most splendid of songs. We shall dance and sing merry into the longest night. Spirit guide you always. Elder Madox.
everyone likes a party. So like with the others, this is about 4 hours worth that's been edited down to about an hour and 20 minutes. We've kept in most of the important stuff. I've left in all of the exposition, the narrative stuff. And this will take us all the way through in this interlude, right the way up to 2-hour war. Good lord, he makes a lot of noise. He's noisier dead than he was alive. What's wrong with you? Clown. ASMR today is a cup of coffee, although I shared a banana with the puppy earlier on. That would have made very interesting listening.
Maintain a fine balance.
kin died by the spirit's will. You'll die by mine.
You shall not blunt my resolve.
You defy the very spirit itself. Submit to the storm. Winds obey me.
Feel the shock.
Forgive me.
Your hunt is ended.
Yeah, you can see in that little exchange that even now Falling Thunder's doing more damage, really, certainly against single targets, than Whirlwind, than Whirling Strike. Here's a little bit of a look at my passives. Very, very similar to what you'll see with pretty much every other content creator. I'll be going over those in a great deal more detail probably tomorrow, because the spec is coming on really nicely. So there's going to be probably about 4 or 5 more episodes. Where we run various aspects of the endgame.
Devotion, my lifetime of service. Has it really come to this? We got our way to this remote mountain like cowardly dogs, hiding our treason from our own ruler. To merely think such a project would mean death, since it implies we doubt her leadership. I hesitate to imagine what she will do to us. My children. If she finds out we actually built it, there is only one way to ensure my children live on. I must send them into the vault without me. I will finish this task, then return to Atzoatl to play my part. Here then is my last accomplishment. After the vault, this simple carving, left for history, left for any who might survive. The Queen is mad, and I hope she finds the immortality she seeks. May Yaumak deny her death's journey, so that we may finally be free of her.
Yeah, so probably looking at about 4 or 5 more episodes. My druid, there was 50, if I remember correct, 48, 49 episodes of my druid's journey, and by the time I'm done here, there's going to be probably 14, 15. So I think 65 episodes on any season of any game is more than enough. Particularly as a playthrough, as a walkthrough, it's more than enough to showcase a game off. I'll push as much as I possibly can, and I'll do as much of the end game content as I can. A grand expedition, a simulacrum, a grand mirror, some pinnacle bosses, and King in the Mists and that kind of stuff. I'll do as much of the end game content as I possibly can within that 4 or 5 episode window, but next week's episodes are probably going to be it for my engagement with Path of Exile 2 this season, and then I'm going to start on the series that I've wanted to do for some time, and that's the coverage of the greatest games of all time.
Then. Quite the hunter. Oh, these will fit in nicely with my trophy collection. I thank you. Perhaps we can work together again sometime.
I'm not entirely certain which game I'm going to start with. The games I'm talking about are going to be Baldur's Gate 3, Divinity 2, Skyrim, Witcher 3. Those games of that caliber. Planet Crafter obviously would have to be one. I'm toying with No Man's Sky. I know that it had a horrible launch, but I believe it's turned into a pretty bloody good game. Or whether I should wait until the Light No Fires comes out, which is going to be the next game from the studio. Obviously, Cyberpunk 2077 is off the table. That's going to be completely verboten. I've tried that, and that didn't go down terribly well with the powers that be at YouTube. I don't know whether it was the swearing, the blood, the guns, the violence, all of the above. But it didn't seem to go down terribly well, and it has marred my channel ever since, even though I've gone back to playing Path of Exile 2. Diablo 2 also will be on the list, and possibly even Diablo 4, but I think that Diablo 2 is a much better game. And I have unfinished business with the Warlock class, which I'm hoping to get back into grips with. I loved playing my little Warlock, and then they nerfed the spec that I put together, so I want to run a warlock on Diablo 2 Resurrected. So yeah, there's going to be plenty coming up. Possibly 7 Days to Die. There's definitely going to be some open world survival games. I just haven't decided which ones. I'm looking at. I'm putting a list together. So, you know, and some of these games are pretty big. I mean, Skyrim is big. Baldur's Gate 3 is huge. You know, so doing walkthroughs and playthroughs of these games is going to be a monumental undertaking. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm hoping that it will repair whatever damage to my account. Doing a very limited run of Cyberpunk did. When YouTube reached out to me, they said, "Oh, it won't affect your account going forward." Because I had some problems with my account and Cyberpunk, and they said, "Oh, you know, it won't affect your account going forward." Blah blah blah. But it obviously has. The numbers don't lie. So I mean, it obviously has. Something has changed. Something has affected my account. So all I can do is to carry on playing games and you know. And doing what I want with my account, and then just hoping for that the algorithm will look kindly upon my ever so tiny little channel. Of course, there are a couple of games that are going to have to be in there. I mean, Planet Crafter, I think, is one of the greatest open world survival games that there is. But then, you know, there's a lot to be said for XCOM, a lot to be said for Stardew Valley, a lot to be said for, you know, Grim Dawn, for example. You know, so I'm not necessarily talking only RPGs. I'm talking about the best games of all time. So that will probably mean throwing in a couple of sports games, maybe a driving game, you know, some puzzle games, maybe Vampire Survivors. You know, really putting a list together of the best games of all time and running through them and seeing how they are. I mean, MMOs, for example. I mean, I'd love to do a World of Warcraft, but I had some rather unfortunate experiences with World of Warcraft. EverQuest as well would be fantastic. to do. So yeah, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot coming up. Minecraft, obviously. I think it's a little bit early to say whether the last Caretaker, Windrose, or RuneScape Dragon Wilds are going to be, counted in the best games ever. But certainly, Dragon Age Origins would be one of the best games. I would say so. Enshrouded may well become one of the best games of all time. Project Zomboid, in its genre, would be, zombie survival games. Guild Wars 2 and possibly Guild Wars 3 when that comes out. Terraria seems to be incredibly popular. I've never played it. Terraria seems to, just looking on Steam now, Terraria seems to be overwhelmingly positive with almost 600,000 updates. Valheim, obviously Subnautica. So yeah, there's a huge amount, and the defense games. There's one I've got on my wish list. Hang on a second. Nordhold, those kind of games, where you're defending against increasingly large and obnoxious hordes of monsters. They Are Billions was one. They're not games that I normally play. There's a game also called Ratopia, which is very, very positive. It's got very good reviews. I believe it's a little bit like, it's a colony builder, little bit like Terraria. But I've got plans for a whole series of games going forward. The last thing I want to do is to, and this is absolutely no offense at anybody who, there are loads and loads of brilliant channels out there that concentrate on Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2, Diablo 1, 2, 3, and 4. And various other ARPGs. I'm a big fan of RPGs. Always have been, always will be. But I also like other forms of games as well. I love my open world survival crafting games. I was addicted, literally addicted to Minecraft for 2-3 years. After I had my accident, and I was having lots and lots of operations, I had Minecraft put onto my onto my laptop, and I was in and out of hospital all the time, and it was a nice light game that could go on my laptop and sit there nice and happy, and I could take it in and out of hospital with me, and build to my heart's content. So yeah, I absolutely loved Minecraft, Planet Crafter, all sorts of building games, Subnautica, Raft. So I won't leave this series high and dry. I'll finish it to the best of my ability, but there has to be an end, and the end for me is in sight, because the other thing is that 1.0 is coming. 1.0 of Path of Exile 2 is coming, and it will be with us before the end of the year. And so I want to, and there's a new Larian game that's supposed to be coming out either later this year or early next year. There's an awful lot of really good stuff that's coming out, and I want to be able to get this bit done. I want to be able to do at least one other game in a different genre, and get ready for the other stuff that's coming. There's another game that's coming called Among the Trolls, which looks absolutely fantastic. It's a game that came out today. I don't know whether it's in early access or not, but it's a Lovecraftian kind of game that looks fantastic. Sinking City 2, I believe it's called. So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of plans for the channel. There's going to be a lot of gaming content. There's probably going to be, and what I want to do is, if there is a game that is linear, and you're there to solve a problem or to do a specific thing, like Dragon Age, for example, right? It has a beginning. It's like an interactive story in a way. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you kill the bad guy at the end, and that's that. The same with Baldur's Gate 3. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. These kind of games, they end when you want them to end. You kill the mobs at the end, at the top of the ziggurat, and then you go farming.
The Winter Owl has hit I. I'm Elder Madox. Your silencing of the wayward spear has calmed the spirit. Here, I observe the biting chill of the gale, while I mourn our losses. The Winter Owl blesses you, and the spirit concedes. I have little time left in this world, and I am on my last adventure. From here, I shall observe winter across 3 weeks of night. Then I shall join the wisdom of owls who came before me. Before you depart, I bear a gift. Make your choice.
Now this is an interesting one. Don't skip this. Don't skip this, because this guy, right, see his inventory? His inventory can contain any unique in the game, right? Any unique in the game. Including Mage Blood, Astra Mentis, or whatever it is, the amulet. Yeah, any. There are people around who have had lots of things from this guy. Of course, he had very little for me, unfortunately. So I'll just have to have something that I can de. But yeah, we'll go out on a high. We'll do all sorts of things. We'll go out on a high. We'll take the class as far as I can take it, and then we'll move on to something new at the beginning of next week. It's Saturday today. So I would say, Monday the 31st of August, we'll probably start a new season, a new series. Yeah, so Monday the 31st of August will probably be day one of a new series, and I'm not entirely certain just yet what that's going to be. I know that's not helpful, but it will be an RPG of some kind, and it will be a good one. It will be one of the top ones, so it might be Witcher 3, it might be Baldur's Gate 3, it might be something else with a 3 in it. Who knows? But I decided today I'm just going to play really nice games, really good games that I'm enjoying, that I enjoy playing, that I want to play, and I'm not going to worry about what the algorithm, what YouTube's algorithm is going to do. But I'm going to be looking for games that have a decent, deep storyline, lots of interactable potentials. Lots of quests. Lots of, deep, kind of immersive storylines and narratives and so on. Whilst avoiding things like tits, excessive swearing, and overly violent scenarios.
My path winds ever onwards.
So the overlords at YouTube at least can take their boot off my neck.
etched into the mountain Kraya for the glory of the Vaal. 200 gave their lives in service to the Queen. Many more would have died if not for Jaquani's constructs. All this for the glory of Adziri. Uromoti, architect of expansion.
You're mine! Hunger will find no feast here.
Yeah, he seems to be a little bit, I wouldn't say immune to electricity, but he seems to be a little bit resistant. I guess it goes with the name Stormglaw, and probably is. So I'm gonna have to hit him with my Spin Dryer of Doom. There we go, the Spin Dryer of Doom for the win. Mount Crier, Spin Dryad.
to excess, like every Vaal tomb before it.
So yeah, so next week I think I'm going to do a grand expedition, a grand mirror, a simulacrum, patriarch and matriarch halls, a breach fortress, all the good stuff. All the good stuff.
Die!
Fortune favors the prepared.
A treasure waiting to be claimed. You're mine! Misguided fool!
We have one task, and one task alone. To survive with our dignity intact. It is the dignity of the Vaal, of all those who came before. We were born in this vault, and we will die in this vault. We are not allowed the freedoms we read of, the freedoms we dream of. We cannot couple for love, or have children as we choose. We cannot choose our roles. We cannot wander an open world as we see fit. We must accept that our now is not at long last, and we must bring stillness to the dream. As your new high priest, alongside my sister, I will endeavor to bring calm to your minds, to bring numbness to the pains in our hearts. That is the greatest calling our now has to offer.
Ah, small soul core. Could do with one of them. Thank you. And yeah, I know that the term "the best games ever" is contentious, and so I will simply be going off charts that have been published in the games media, and I know that that's also contentious, but I'll also be looking at sales data and reviews on Steam, and I'll be taking them all together, and I'll be looking at them all and having a look and probably putting a list together of 5 or so categories and taking the top 2 or 3 games of 5 or so categories and then playing those games. So Baldur's Gate 3, Witcher 3, stuff like that's bound to be on it.
I've no room for that.
And completion will be typically when main storylines are completed, when main quests are completed, when the main bosses are killed or dealt with, or when the main tasks are successfully completed, and most, if not all, of any secondary ancillary stuff is done. That's what we're looking at for completion. It's not always going to be that simple, but a lot of these games are they come from an era where linearity is, or what at least was a thing.
One day soon, the Vaal will spread from this place like wildfire. The decline in detected corruption that began 20 years ago continues at pace. Soon, we will reach the threshold left for us by our great forebears.
I love her
Ready
voice.
yourselves. Solin and I have long served you, crafting the blood euphorics and eradicating pain. No longer. We must be sharp-eyed and sharp-minded. After countless years, our now is about to become at long last. We will be remembered as the heroes that went forth and repopulated. You may now couple and bear children as you wish. The carnal pleasures are ours once more. The limit is lifted. The new Vaal Empire begins here. Now, with us.
misguided fool!
Yes, I come in peace. This is a club of peace I'm hitting you with. My big stick of peace.
The time of the sparrow has come.
What nonsense do you speak?
No matter. Now you die!
Die!
Dare you? Hey, the fool of stand the test of time! I will avenge you, sister! You got lucky! Enough! We submit!
Join me. Blood need not bind you forever.
Fools! Did you not hear the code phrase?
Is it really you?
Ayatsiri? Doriani himself? I am not worthy!
No, you're
You
not.
seem sane enough. The spirit of the Vaal endures. Assemble yourselves. The time has come. You will march forth unto war.
As you wish, Master Thaumaturge.
Let us meet back in King's March. The Quachik shall join our cause. Go.
Well, that was easy enough.
Speak.
The Quachik may have joined our cause, but that will last only as long as we share a common enemy. Be wary. If we do manage to stop the Twilight Order and slay the beast, we may suddenly have more to worry about. Do whatever it takes.
How goes your quest? You moving on? Aye. I should as well. Good luck with that, Oriath and whatnot. Oh, any beasts about? You moving on? Aye. I should as well. Good luck with that, Oriath and whatnot. Oh, should you end up blowing yourselves up again, try to escape back this way, maybe. Hunt like it's your last.
I've got to go back to King's March. There they are. Everyone's waiting for us.
It has been thousands of years since I've seen an alliance such as this. Wraeclast has finally united the way I always hoped it would. Come, let us plan our assault on Oriath.
I've been working on a strategy of sorts.
The end is nigh, one way or another.
Go.
Yeah, these are my next two. These two large nodes here. One to the left, one to the right. This little cluster. And then there's another one on the opposite side of the line, to the right of the line, which is crits, I believe.
So this is King's March. Oh, quite the marvel. And Dannick's Forge. Oh, what I wouldn't give for some of that gear. We're ready and waiting.
And there's an inn.
Behind you.
Renly, there's a pub. You can get yourself a
This
pint.
will be a war for the very soul of Wraeclast. I can imagine no greater battle, no greater cause. If we are to die, we will die well.
Good girl. That's
For
what I
glory.
like to hear.
Welcome.
A pleasure as always.
Welcome to the Forge. Pharaoh is voracious for knowledge. He never lets up.
It seems he's earned your respect.
Oh, I like the lad, I'll admit that. I just can't let him know the full truth just yet. He has the drive to rival a runefather someday. That's the kind of thing you can't tell a young man without setting him up for failure. I know from experience. Win or lose, you're about to weave a glorious tale. Make sure you come back in one piece, so you can tell it to me.
If I am led here once more, I'll make a point of it.
Survive.
Right.
How can I be of aid? The time has come. We can only hope our alliance will be enough. That fateful hour, a return to Oriath. We can set sail immediately.
The dreamer leads, and I follow.
With our forces united, we set sail from King's March and head for Oriath. But as we approached, the unthinkable took place. We were too late. My worst fears have come to pass. The world is consumed by madness once more. Our last hope for refuge is the ziggurat of Utzal. Perhaps Oriana's preparations will shield us while we plan our next move. It appears Doriani truly does have a plan for every contingency.
Oops. So what have we got here? We've got a Doriani, a Zolene and a Zolina, and we've got a hooded
He
one.
slumbers as deeply as the dreamer himself. Doriani may know how to wake him.
Speak.
How does sanctified corruption differ from the normal kind, aside from its crystalline appearance?
Ah, you're asking a question of great debate. We know that there are many kinds of energy in this world. Heat, wind, gravity, belief, flesh, souls. Corruption is a morass. A chaotic vortex of energies broken down into unpredictable madness. Sanctifying that corruption involves bringing order to that chaos, depositing it into motionless crystals.
Does the corruption become benign once it's been sanctified?
It still holds power, but it will no longer mutate or drive men insane. My initial experiments were promising. I was hoping it could be a step forward for my people. In a way, perhaps it still can be. One day.
The short-term effects of corruption are obvious. But what of the long term? Can we expect there'll be consequences to the amount of exposure we've endured?
Of course. Anyone who leaves this ziggurat for any period of time is going to die someday. Tumors, mutations, madness. Unless we complete my prior work and discover the secret of immortality. That is still my eventual plan, of course.
We rage against an endless tide. Corruption, cataclysms. These things have plagued Wraeclast since time immemorial. Is it destined to remain this way forever?
Though the task seems endless, remember the course of history. This is the third cataclysm we know of. In both previous cases, Wraeclast eventually healed. The true challenge is whether we, or humanity itself, can survive until eventually. I have worked with corruption my entire life. It is a disordered, chaotic energy by its very nature. The piece of the weapon I found in my era was capable of precipitating that chaos, leaving an ordered crystalline structure.
I don't understand. Are you suggesting that the weapon piece somehow purified the corruption?
Essentially, yes. Corruption is captured and deposited in physical form. The energy still exists within, but in a different pattern that should be safer. Assuming the experience you described, this memory battle, was a real thing, I suppose it may be some sort of test.
Why a test? What purpose would it serve?
Perhaps to keep Abyssals away from the burning monolith while it enacted its task, or to secure the fragments in some other unknown manner. We are dealing with ancient minds that thought very differently from us. It may be impossible to truly understand them. If the builders of the fortress were intelligent, and they most certainly were, they would have created a contingency in the event the Abyssals returned.
What kind of contingency?
The burning monolith is collecting energy. If we do not reach it in time, it will most likely activate. That would be very bad. Those murals were meant for the future. Not just depictions, but warnings. Instructions.
Why a mural? Why not something with less room for interpretation?
This room for interpretation is both a blessing and a curse. Yes, it is possible that someone might misinterpret what is depicted in the mural. But it is also true that a mural transcends language. It is not reliant on a shared understanding of culture or creed.
A fair point. What, then, does this warning tell us?
The precursors must have been at war with the Abyssals. There was a direct depiction of the fortress under siege. They tried to do something. Elect some sort of champion. Did they fail? We cannot be certain. It seems the burning monolith is a final contingency, which bodes ill for us. After some research, I surmised the Lich Lord we freed was one known as Techrod. Essentially, he was missing from history, known only as the Lost or the Forsaken.
How does one go missing from history?
By being imprisoned within a sarcophagus for generations.
But with nary a trace left behind.
It seems the precursors somehow trapped not only his body, but his soul. And we let him out. I am no expert on the Abyssals, as the Vaal never faced them. But I am astounded they once rivaled the precursors.
It does not surprise me. Were it not for the Third Pact, the Abyssals would have run rampant over Wraeclast.
Putting the pieces together, led by this Kulimak, who could continually rebuild their bodies, they must have been an endless legion. But then, the burning monolith activated, perhaps. Doing something so devastating, the Abyssals retreated from history for thousands of years. The ley lines all lead to the fortress. If we are going to find anything that may help our situation, we will find it there. I do not believe it was a city, nor a simple bastion. It is the heart of some colossal grand project. That much is clear.
What was this project meant to achieve?
The ley lines that stretch across Wraeclast. That fortress is at the heart of it. We will not know for sure until we get inside. We have found a vast underground web of precursor ley lines. They were indistinguishable from natural bedrock before, but now that they have reactivated, it is clear to me our entire continent bears a lattice beneath.
That would have taken a great deal of effort. What did they hope to accomplish?
I believe this lattice connects the towers. There is a vast intent at work here, but one so ancient we may never know what they were trying to do.
Well, we'll try and find out what they were trying to do in the next couple of days. We've got a lot of work to do. And if you fancy giving me a like and a subscribe and dropping me a message, that would be absolutely wonderful. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one, which is likely to be sometime tomorrow. Take care, everybody.